Unit 3, solving quadratic equation is based on basically the two skills. One is to factor a polynomial, like it's ax squared plus bx plus c, into two binomials. And another one is to solve equations such as ax plus b and equals c. Now notice a, b, c here they just can be any numbers. Okay, they can be fraction, negative, positive. Okay. For the first section, 3.1, factoring a polynomial expression, basically you're gonna do this, right? Given something like x squared minus 4x minus 21, so you're able to factor into x minus 7, x plus 3. So this is really the process. Like if you're given here, look at it here, if you're given a plus b and then multiply a c plus d, so if you expand them, you should get AC, basically A multiply C, A multiply D, and then B multiply C, B multiply D. So this is just application of distributive property. So if you know the two binomial will be expanded this way, and then come back to the factoring question, you're really asking to do the opposite, right? See, you are given this one, and just like you have this one, and then ask you to factor them, just go back to this two binomial multiply together. Okay, so let's take a look at how this can be done. So notice that this x squared is basically the multiplication of the x and x. Okay, there's two, just like the AC is a product of the first term in the first binomial and the first term in the second binomial. So that's why if you separate into two brackets, the first one, x, the first term in this one and the first term in this one multiplied together, it has to be equals to this. So if you have if you have x squared, and then what else you can be, only separate into x and x. And similarly, if you look at the two numbers here, they multiply together, negative 7 and 3 multiplied together has to be negative 21. Of course, if you based on these two rules, you can switch the negative 7 and 3, and then it becomes a different result. Okay, and then the third thing you have to check is if these two things, right, AD plus BC, so basically applied to here is actually negative 7 multiply x, and then x multiply the positive 3. So if you put these two things together, negative 7 multiply x plus 3x, and do they add together, combine, equals negative 4x? If yes, and then you did the right order. Otherwise, you try to switch these two. Okay, then look at the next one. So factoring this, that's very similar. You have to, the first two terms, it has to be 2g and a g. There's no other options. If you switch the 2g and the g and put a g here, 2g here, there's no difference. And because it's really depending on how you choose the two constant terms. And again, look at here, you got a negative 3. So then to factor negative 3, it can only be 1 or negative 3. Or you switch around, it can be negative 3 or 1, right? So if I choose, put a 1 here, negative 3 here, and then I do the verification. So the 2g multiply negative 3 and 1 multiply g added together equals negative 5g. Oh, that's not right. And then you can switch the negative 3 and 1. Let's check again. So you should get 2g multiply 1 and negative 3 multiply g added together equals negative g. Here you go, that's right. So basically, that's the way you do to do the basic factoring.